trend of working with as many partners as possible. It's for the purpose of reducing risks. Mainly is for reducing the risks involved in the projects and the programs that we work with in non-governmental organizations. And then the development of resource mobilization plan. This is the correct one. I think maybe people selected number D because there was the beginning with identification of need. Now the thing is, there is already a need existing, and that is actually the problem in the last question. People were beginning to write processes, you begin with identifying a need. I already gave you a case study. In fact, I asked you your environment, your neighborhood, people are disposing of waste in the undeveloped lands. What are the practical solutions to that? Some people are beginning by telling me that they begin with identifying the problem. I have already identified the problem for you, so that's wrong. You begin with looking at what are your available resources. So that is question 1. Let me move to question 2. Let me close that window and move to question 2. This is question 2. Should be appearing on your end now. Okay, it's taking a while. Let me reload it. Let me reload that question. Okay, it should be appearing on your end now. So this question 2, it reads, define resource mobilization. Now, we defined a resource as the specific items that the specific materials that we are looking for when we are mobilizing. And then we define mobilization as the active process of looking for the resources. Combining those two, it's the process of identifying the resources essential for the development, implementation, and continuation of works to achieve your objectives. This is wrong. A is wrong because anything that has value to man, be it economic, all this, that's wrong. Because we don't like using the word anything. This is wrong because of the act of agreeing with a policy. This definition here is for advocacy. The process of used to bring together, assemble, and coordinate resources for a particular purpose or in pursuit of a particular objective could be right, but this is more correct because of the inclusion of development, implementation, and continuation of works. But this could also be correct to an extent. D could also be correct to an extent. Let me go to question number 3. It should be coming to you now. In a few seconds. Should have appeared on your end now. All right. So this question 3, which one of the following mechanisms of fundraising is the most effective in winning the trust? Now, it was not on anything else. It's about winning the trust of resource providers quickly. Winning trust. Which is the most effective method in winning trust? Now, enhancement of internal capacity. That is for you. If you build up your capacity as an organization internally, that one will help you and your employees. Applying for donations, that one just helps people to know what you are doing in your organization. It doesn't build trust. Using media is more of an advertisement, but self-contribution, let me remind you what that is. When you begin an NGO, the first thing that you do is you work with your own resources. If you're willing to use your own resources from your pocket or from your friends or from your partners to do your work, then other people will be willing to assist you with their resources if you have already provided from your pocket. So that is the one that is best at winning trust. In fact, we usually say that for you to get funding quickly, number one, start doing something. Number two, use your own resources. So that is the easiest way to get funding. Now, the final question had the most, the biggest problem according to me. Let me share that. Should be coming to your screen in a few seconds. It should have appeared on your end. This is the final question. Assume you are in a community where garbage from the neighboring areas is disposed of on the roads, drainage pipes, and undeveloped lands. This problem is caused by the high cost of garbage collection fees, lack of awareness on better methods of garbage management, and poor garbage management by local authorities. As an aspiring community development worker, suggest 5 practical roles you can play to solve this problem. Now, I needed you just to come up with, I've already provided the problem. This is the problem, the high cost of garbage fees. I think if you would have picked that problem and say, find a cheaper garbage collection method. The other problem is lack of awareness on better methods. So organize people into groups and teach them on methods of garbage management. Poor garbage management by local authorities, lobby these authorities to find better methods of garbage management. These are easy answers. But let me see what Khadija wrote. I would play the role of bringing the community and local authorities through knowledge. That is one. Link the community members to the resources that they need for their own development and garbage management. So linking of resources, that's a very good answer. Becoming the link. Number 3, help the members by equipping them with skills to control garbage, and identify causative problems and find solutions for garbage management, and link the community with government and other development agents like NGOs. Now, I think at this point, I would not like to start pinpointing what people wrote, but I would like just to have a sneak peek on my own, why maybe someone where it was totally off. Now, the answers needed to be practical. That's one. They needed to address the problem that I have stated. So the answers needed to be practical and address the problem that I had stated. So that is it. Now, coming back to what we should be discussing today, let me project that our topic today is the psychology of resource mobilization, how that should happen, and why we actually raise funds. Should be appearing on your end right now. Okay, it's important. I think this is one of the most important topics in this class. Reason being, this is the end of this is the process, the main process that you're actually going to carry out. This is it. So it is the main topic. I think this one and the next one in our next class next week. So these are the two main topics. Now, what we are supposed to look at here is what do donors look for when when they are looking for people to fund, because they are in the business of funding. So what do they look for, and what can you do to attract them? So we first need to define philanthropy, though philanthropy is comes from a Greek term that means love for humanity. The psychology behind giving is that the person who is giving at the end of it needs to feel good about themselves. That is the psychology behind it. If you check these statements here, from here up to that point, those statements that psychologists and fundraising experts have been able to help charities develop practical ideas they can use for fundraising. They often delve into the relationship between charitable giving and altruism. I've defined altruism here. It is the selfless concern for the well-being of others, whether it is through interest or non-interest. Some people say there is you can give without being interested, and you can also give with being interested. So if you check this last statement, that charitable giving, some argue that altruism doesn't actually exist, where you give without being interested doesn't exist, because the mere act of performing the selfless act benefits yourself. So the last statement is what I would like to draw your attention to. Empathy, interest, altruism. Empathy is you're giving with interest. It states that an individual will help someone who they feel empathy towards, regardless of what the individual may give from it. So maybe you may ask yourself, if you're looking for funding, what does it benefit the person who is funding you? Of what benefit is it? For example, if you're looking for funding from a company, from the UN, or from such an institution, how does it? Okay, and if you can hear me but I can't see the screen, based on the icon, I can see people are how people are logged in. For example, Nuria is logged in via audio, Martin is via audio, Bradox is via microphone, but he has muted it. Yours doesn't show. So what I would advise you, and is to refresh your page. Maybe log out and log in again before I move too far. If you can hear me, please log out and log in again. Because I can see your message here stated that I can't see the screen, but I can hear you. Log out and log in again to refresh your page. Also ensure that you always have as a reliable network as possible from your end. As I wait on her to do that, let me just continue, because I'm recording. You can find the part that you missed, the recording of the part you missed. I've recorded the whole session. So I wanted to put across the point that maybe you're applying for donor funding, or you're applying for any other type of funding. You may ask yourself, of what benefit is it? The person is just doing a philanthropic act of love to humanity. So the psychology of it is that they are doing philanthropy. They're just helping humanity. In the end, at the end of it, it's for self-actualization. They want to feel that they have assisted, and they want to feel good about themselves. But other than that, what are other reasons that motivate donors? One is their own politics. They want to maybe to receive votes, or they have an interest in what they are doing. For example, we have been saying that China as a country, though they are not giving donorship to Kenya, it's loans. Their interest is to get their people jobs in this country, to get publicity, to get relations with Africa, to be more of a superpower at the end of it. That is one of the reasons, politics. The other one is social reasons, to build their name, their image, to employ people, to expand their relations, etc. The other reason is to earn money. Sometimes they can earn money from it. if the program that they are investing into or providing money or any other form of of donor funding, because it's not only money, they also provide in kind if to make profit at the end. Business, they also begin businesses. Most of the donorships are not taxed. Most of them, they escape taxes, so that is good for business, for religious reasons, and other reasons. All right, welcome back, Anne. I hope you can see my screen. Okay. All right, let me continue. For other reasons. Now, strategies of winning donor support. Now, for this part, I will upload a video just after this class. At the bottom of this class, this topic number 5, this is our topic 5. I'll upload a video after, just to share some of the thoughts of people who have been in the NGO industry for a while on how you can win donor support. 70% of the time that you apply for funding, you win donor funding. So I will upload for that, but let me just mention these ones here. The strategies. One is you have to build credibility. Okay, now the two people have disappeared. You have to have credibility, that your company needs to have a good image. One way of doing that, as we have mentioned in the questions, is to build trust. Start doing something. Start engaging people in the society with evidence. Make sure you have evidence. Don't just say that I have been engaging people in society. Provide evidence for it. Be accountable. Nowadays, it's very important that the money you're given or whatever you're given, you account for it. Do not use it for your own personal gain. You can put yourself on a salary just to avoid you using the donor money for, because even in the donor funds, they usually allow for salaries, because the work is going to be done by people who require payment. So you can put yourself also on a salary to avoid embezzling funds. Being honest, you need to also thank the donors. Show the need, meaning that the reason why you applied for the donor funding should be where you apply the money. For example, if you applied it for garbage management, then make sure that it goes to garbage management. All right, some people are having serious problems. Because now I am informed that the system has logged out Anne and Noor. All right, let me continue. I was saying that you also need to be flexible. Sometimes it will require you to change tact. Please remember to be flexible. Don't be rigid and say, I didn't apply for this, so I can't do this. They need people who can, donors need people who can shift from one side to the other and move very, very quickly. If you applied for if you applied for for research and then they ask you to do development, do not fail to shift development because of one reason or the other. They may pull out next time. So one of the barriers to philanthropic acts, why do donors fail to fund? One is because you do not ask. In our next class, we are going to be discussing how to ask. So we are going to be discussing how to write a proposal for funding. So we will be tackling the reason for fear, because most people fear because they do not know how to ask. So we will tackle that better next week, but that's one of the reasons why you're not given funding, because you've never asked. loss of interest by the donors. Sometimes they lose interest because your objectives and their objectives aren't matching, or they lose interest because you aren't applying the funds you're not applying the funds to the area where they should be applied. All right. Or sometimes they are not even in need of donating anymore. Or sometimes their politics and your politics aren't, they aren't matching, and such other reasons. Now, I would like to draw your attention finally to this area of NGO emerging issues. One, in the past, NGOs used to work alone. Nowadays, more often than not, there will be partnerships because the programs are larger, they take longer time. So they use you may find UN Women, for example, they are partnering with another agricultural organization somewhere to do some work, or another government organization somewhere to do some work, and that is to help them, share their strengths. Your strengths are these, my strengths are these, so you ensure that everybody is attracting as many donors as possible, and they're also sharing risks. Donors also have conditions. I have mentioned a few here. They may include that the donor needs to be updated regularly. There need to be midterm evaluations. Midterm evaluations are done within the project before you're even through with the first few milestones. Then they come and they do an evaluation to see whether you're still on track or you're using money for other reasons. Then some also insist that they need to have one of their members in your team. You need to work with some of their members. Some others insist that you need to have experts in the area where you're implementing your work. You may have done engineering, but you're implementing an agricultural program. You need to have agronomists in your team. Another example, donors give more than just money nowadays. Sometimes they give you experts, sometimes they give you advice, sometimes they give you trainings. They can give you in many forms, without the money or together with the money. Now, with that, I would like to draw your attention to the discussion forum. Let me also project that. We have a discussion forum here. Should be appearing. Okay. There is a problem. There is a serious problem. So sorry for that. Okay. If you go back to, let me stop sharing. If you go back to our topic 5, you'll see 2 questions in the discussion forum. Please attempt them in the next 30 minutes, just to see how much you have understood now. And beyond that, I think we can call it a class. Is there any question? Martin, you can type a question because you're on audio. Paradox, you can unmute and ask a question using your microphone. Yes. Hello. All right, Martin. Paradox, do you have any question?
No, I don't think so. I don't have any question.
Try and answer the questions in the discussion forum. Then you can call it a class. Thank you for joining in. Don't log off. I would encourage you not to log off, because if you log off, you can't log back in. You have seen, let me show you what's happening. If you log off, this is what the system will show you. Just go direct to the to the to the discussion forum. You can see it's showing the session partition is full. It is not possible to log in at this time. Please notify the server administrator. That is what is showing. So please do not log off. Just go to the discussion forum question. With that, let me end the meeting there. Thank you very much for coming to class. Enjoy your weekend. We shall meet next week, not tomorrow. We shall meet next week on Friday.